Hi everybody, thank you for joining me once again. Today is really a very personal and special topic, I believe. Something that we can all, maybe not all, but most of us or a lot of us can relate to. And it's all about how I used to have an addictive personality and how having an addictive personality does exist. I'll begin with, in the psychology community, it is a debate whether people have an addictive personality or not, because what is an addictive personality, first of all, and what is the difference between having a full-blown addiction or being an addict and then having a personality that is addictive. Well, I am here to tell you that I really believe that a lot of people can relate to this video, because I think a lot of us have an addictive personality. I think a lot of us have some sort of repetitive thing that we like to do out of pleasure. And I can honestly say that I definitely had an addictive personality. Like, absolutely, for sure, I know I had an addictive personality. And addiction comes in many different forms, okay? It's not just drugs and alcohol and gambling. Those are the three most popular types of addictions, but that is completely not the only kinds of addictions. There are people that are addicted to food, addicted to sex, addicted to exercise. There are people that are, oh my gosh, addicted to chalk, to eating chalk. There's all kinds of addictions. So addiction comes in many forms, and an addiction is really a habit that we tend to do just for the act of pleasure. That kind of calms us down from any sort of anxiety or distress that we may be in, and we do it as a form of pleasure. When it comes to how I had an addictive personality, I had two things that I was pretty heavy on. And well, I had an addictive personality, so I had tendencies to just want to do things over and over and over and over again because they brought me pleasure, because they made me happy. And so for me, it was alcohol. I used recreational drugs for fun, but it was really alcohol. And then my other one that was very scarring for me, it was food. It was actually food. So for 13 years, maybe even a little bit over 13 years, I suffered from a food addiction, and I suffered from a eating disorder. But I don't even know where to begin, because it was so much. It took away so much of my happiness, and yet when I would binge, it would feel so good. So, and then after I felt good, I went back to being miserable because then I binged. So I suffered from bulimia for basically 13 years. And what a lot of people always say is that bulimia is based on having control issues. And I absolutely agree with that. I completely agree with that. But there's also this anxious component of wanting to find relief. And I found relief with food. It was so sad for me, actually. The other day I was going through pictures and I was showing a friend old pictures. I remember looking at the pictures and looking at myself a few years back, and looking at myself, and I was like, oh my God, I look so good. I look so cute. I am so cute. And at the same time, I felt sad because I remember how miserable I was. I remember how non-present I was. And I just remember feeling such pity looking at those pictures from that girl. And that was me at one point. And when it came to alcohol was, wow, it plays such a huge role in my awakening and in my life. And it plays a really, really big role in many people's lives. My God, I mean, I definitely consider alcohol to be the most destructive drug there is, okay? Because alcohol is a drug. Alcohol is not alcohol, okay? Well, you do drugs, you do alcohol. No, alcohol is a drug, okay? There's no separation, and it's so sad that it's so socially acceptable. I still hear people, I meet people that they're like, oh no, I don't smoke weed, but I drink. Are you kidding me? I remember when it came to alcohol, Crown Royal whiskey was like my favorite, and I used to call it my abusive husband because I abused it, you know, and or it abused me, and that's terrible. But I would drive drunk all the time. I totaled about 2 cars, and I got into about 8 more car accidents after that. How crazy, you know, how crazy is that? I got raped one time because I was so drunk and I was on a stupor and I got raped. I got into so many fights with my loved ones, whether it was my family, whether it was the person that I was dating. Actually, one of the biggest loves of my life, he left me because I was drinking way too much and I was just out of control. I lost a lot of dignity and I lost a lot of self-respect when it came to alcohol. I was reckless. I was very, very reckless. But you know, addiction is something that it's something that we do it because it feels good. And that's why it's so addictive. Because when I would take that sip of alcohol, I would feel warm and I would feel good and I wanted more of that. And I was that type of person that I would go to a bar and I would just be so happy to be at that bar. Like, why would I want to sit at a table? Like, I would look at a bar and I'd be like, wow, look at all these liquor and look at the colors and the lights and, you know, the smells and look at the bar, how sleek it is. And I used to be so proud of that. I love that. I love the culture. I mean, I was a bartender, so I got really into the culture. Little did I know that I was also feeding into my addiction and my own disbalance. When it came to food, it was the same thing. And I had such a crazy obsession and OCD when it came to my bulimia and food. It was the weirdest thing. It's like, first of all, I was constantly thinking about food. Like, it was literally in the back of my mind 24/7. Like, as soon as I ate, I would be like, when is my next meal? How far it is? What am I gonna eat? Where am I gonna go? And then when I used to get hungry, like, that's not good. Like, I would freak the fuck out. I would like just be like, oh my god, I need to eat right now. I need to eat right now. I need to eat right now. And I had to stop somewhere and I had to buy myself something to eat because I needed to calm my nerves. And that was just being hungry. That wasn't even like, you know, that wasn't even like I was having an anxiety attack. Actually, that induced an anxiety attack. There would be times that I would be working and I would see food and I would smell it and I couldn't eat, of course, because I was working. Oh my god, like, the world was gonna fucking like tear me apart because I would get triggered so bad by just smelling something. Like, by just smelling chicken wings, by just smelling french fries. I would just be like, and it would just be so internal. It would be so incredibly internal. And I just wanted to fucking pull my hair out. And I would just be like, and then I had to like work. And it was really fucking sad. It was so sad. And I could never be present. I could never be present because I was always thinking about something else. I was always thinking about, when am I gonna eat? When am I gonna have a drink? I'm really stressed out. I need a shot. I need something. And when I hit my rock bottom, which was really when I got raped because I was so drunk, I got raped. And even before that happened, I had an overdose. I overdosed on ecstasy one time. And I was, but it's something that was coming already. I was partying all week. I was barely eating. That's another thing. I would balance out my weight through, you know, liquor and food. and well, liquor and the binging and throwing food up, you know, and it was just, I was doing so much damage to my body. And I remember when I would throw up, I would hate myself. Like I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And that was my biggest secret. Like I never told a soul about that. Like I never told anybody, not even when I started, because after a while when I hit my rock bottom, then I got raped and I realized, oh my God, I like this ridiculousness, this recklessness just went too far. When I hit my rock bottom, I just, everything just fell into place, and I realized, oh my God, like this is just not who I want to be. This is just, like I'm so unhappy. And I would get these moments of clarity when I was sober, of course, but I was like so wild. I was like this crazy, like fun, party animal, wild girl, and I was just like, let's go, whatever. And so it took this stranger, and it wasn't just, well, it took this stranger to completely violate my body, to make me think a little deeper and make me really kind of wake up and realize how miserable I was. Because it wasn't like a wake up like, yay, I'm gonna be better. Like, no, I just realized, holy shit, I'm so miserable, and yet I had so many good things around me in a way. I was in this constant struggle of finding love. Like I wanted to find love, and I was looking for it so bad in the external world through cheap thrills, whether it was going out and partying or having meaningless sex with somebody I barely knew. I was looking for that love, and I was going through so many issues with my family. I was going through the loss of my relationship, and I had no idea absolutely what I wanted to do with my life. So it was just, everything was just boiling to that point where I just decided I didn't want to care anymore, and I just wanted to put myself in a position where I'm just gonna forget about it all. And I used to drink so much. This is how much I used to drink. By the way, I was a very, very, very functional alcoholic, drinker, addict, whatever you want to call it. I was super functional. Yes, I would get drunk as soon as I got out, but when I had to be in front of other people, I was super functional. And I used to drink so much. This is how you know that you're drinking so much, that I would forget things, like a lot. Like I would have to write down lists everywhere, and I would stick them all around my apartment because I would forget if I didn't write them down. My roommate had always had to be like picking up after me because I would just forget. So yeah, I mean, I just got to the point that I wanted to be better, but I had no idea where to begin. Like no idea. And so I took my ass to rehab. I was that person that I walked into rehab and I was like, take me, I don't know what to do, take me. And I went to outpatient rehab. I had so much stuff that I was holding inside. And that's what got me so sick, you see. When it came to my food addiction, when it came to my bulimia, I really thought of it more as a anxiety. And so I was such an expert at it. I mean, I'm telling you, that was my biggest secret. I was a total expert at it, that even when I was in rehab and I was opening myself up to my therapist, I never talked about it. And I continued to do it. Only until it was like our last session that it's when I decided to reveal it to my therapist. And I think that going to rehab was an amazing choice, an idea. I definitely believe that I was already being guided to do these things, because I definitely realized, I finally said to myself, you see, your life will change. Your life starts to change when you finally say to yourself, I don't want to live this life anymore. I don't, and I'm not trying to say suicide, even though I did think about it. Believe me, I thought about it, and I got to a point that I was suicidal, and I had this friend, and when I told that friend that I was so depressed to the point that I just wanted to kill myself, because I just didn't, it's not so much that I wanted to kill myself, I just didn't want to live anymore. Like I was that depressed. That person stopped talking to me. That person never talked to me again. And that was another wake-up call for me. That really made me realize that I needed to go through this on my own. When I was in rehab, I was told, eventually I was told by my therapist, he's like, you know, you don't really have a drinking problem. You have an emotional problem. You have a lot of things that you're holding inside. You have so much pain that you're holding inside, and you're sedating yourself with alcohol. So I think the first step to really changing is wanting to understand yourself better and realizing you're not happy. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's what I'm trying to like get at here. It's like knowing that you're not happy. That is the first step that will make you want something more. Knowing that you're not happy and knowing how maybe miserable you are, understanding that you probably don't have a kind of sense of purpose, and that is completely okay because you're not alone on this. And so I started to do a lot of different things. I started to go towards what would make me happy. And that's what I tell people all the time. Do what makes you happy. But I started to become curious. I started to become curious into different modalities, different ways of healing with myself, to the point that I can stabilize myself and my emotions a little bit more. And then I realized that what was making me really, really sick is holding things in. That was my biggest factor. And especially when it came to my eating disorder, oh my God, I think that my eating disorder started to go away when I actually just revealed it to myself and to my therapist. It was such a weight off my shoulders when I realized that my biggest issue was the fact that I was keeping my feelings in. I was feeling really, really lonely, and I was just sedating myself with very unhealthy habits. And I can honestly say that I don't have that anymore. And it feels so amazing. Oh my gosh, it feels so amazing that it brings tears to my eyes, because I live this beautiful life of health, and I still drink. Yes, I still drink. I drink socially, and I barely drink, and I freaking love it. And I party, and I had to go through so much healing. I definitely went through a phase where I was disgusted at alcohol, but as I went through my awakening, is that everything just fell into place, because at that time I was working at a strip club, and I became more reckless, but at the same time I wanted something better for my life. And then I started feeling energy. I started feeling energy around me, and I started feeling people's thoughts and emotions and all these things, because I wanted something better. And I was seeing my pain, because I'm an empath, I was seeing my pain on other people, or I was seeing other people's pain. It's like I was bouncing up of other people's energy, and we were all on a low vibration. And then I realized, I take a look around, and I was like, holy shit, like, I want something better for my life than this. Like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money, but like, I'm not happy. I saw people throw up because they were so drunk, and you know, I was like, wow, I don't want to see that. I want to be better, and I want to help people. And so it was like a series of waves of enlightenment and understanding that you can be better, that you can be happier, and then your self-worth starts to grow, and then you're like, wait a second, I can be better. I just opened up my eyes to this whole other reality, and I realized that all I had to do was just be open, and all I had to do was just be genuine, And I know that my suffering is not only my suffering, there were other people suffering with me too. There are people going through the same things that I went through too. So I felt connected, in other words. I didn't feel like I was the only person anymore. I felt connected, and all because I wanted a better life. And so this is my message to you. My message is that take a look at yourself a little deeper. Take a look at yourself at what is it that you're lacking, and what is it that makes you unhappy, and what are the habits that you want to get rid of, and why you're doing these habits. And see who you are as an emotional being. You keep things in, and ask yourself, how do you want to feel? I want to feel good today. I want to feel nice. I want to feel at peace with my brain. Oh my God, my brain used to go at 100 miles an hour all the time. And when you get to that point, the universe will guide you into where you need to be, and it will guide you into the people that are going to help you. And so this is my message to you guys, and I really hope that I can give some light to you all. And I love you all. You're more than welcome to like my video, share it, please share it. Let's share the knowledge. You know where to find me. Bye guys, I love you.